The story begins with a crowded banquet hall, filled with golden chandeliers, laughter, and clinking glasses. But in the middle of that glamour sat a young man in a wheelchair, his head lowered, his heart aching, and his life about to change, forever. His name was Daniel, a self-made millionaire who had lost his ability to walk in a tragic accident 2 years ago. Once the life of the party, a confident leader, Daniel now lived with shame and self-doubt, questioning his worth at every turn. His fiancée, Sophia, a beautiful woman admired by many for her grace, seemed devoted to him. At least, that's what everyone thought. But on that night, Sophia leaned close, her voice dripping with arrogance, and whispered words that froze his blood. "Kick that wheelchair away and I'll marry you." The guests clapped, believing her words to be playful. But Daniel saw the coldness in her eyes. He realized her love was conditional, dependent on appearances, on his ability to walk, on how he could serve her status, not on who he truly was. Instead of anger, Daniel stayed silent. But someone else saw it. Anna, the maid, quietly serving drinks in the corner. She had always admired Daniel's kindness, the way he treated staff with respect, unlike many of his wealthy guests. That night, she noticed his trembling hands on the armrest, the silent pain he tried to mask with a forced smile. Anna's heart broke. She couldn't stay quiet anymore, but before she could act, Daniel did something shocking. Daniel's secret pain. Daniel's story wasn't simple. 2 years earlier, he had been the CEO of a fast-rising company, but a reckless driver had changed everything, leaving him paralyzed from the waist down. Overnight, friends disappeared, business partners questioned his ability, and though Daniel fought hard to keep his empire standing, the loneliness crushed him. That's when Sophia came into his life. She was glamorous, elegant, and told him she didn't care about the wheelchair. For the first time, Daniel felt seen. He thought her love was genuine, but reality was crueler. Sophia wasn't in love with Daniel. She was in love with his wealth, his name, and the power that came with being his fiancée. Sophia's cruel challenge, "Kick that wheelchair and I'll marry you," was meant as a private joke. But Daniel realized something. This was no joke. This was who she really was. He excused himself from the table and wheeled outside to the balcony, the city lights glowing in the distance. The applause inside continued, but his world was silent. That's when Anna followed him. She hesitated, then spoke softly. "Sir, you don't have to prove anything to anyone, especially not to her." Daniel looked up, surprised. No one had ever dared to speak so honestly to him. Her eyes were full of compassion, not pity. The next morning, Daniel did something unexpected. Instead of canceling the engagement immediately, he planned a test. He wanted the truth revealed, not just for himself, but in front of everyone. He announced a grand engagement party, inviting investors, friends, and family. Sophia was thrilled, seeing it as an opportunity to flaunt her victory. But Daniel had arranged something else. The hall glittered with lights. Sophia wore a dazzling gown, smiling for the cameras. Daniel sat quietly in his wheelchair, his expression unreadable. Midway through the evening, Daniel raised his glass and asked for silence. "My friends," he began, "tonight I want to show you the depth of love, love that looks beyond appearances." Then he turned to Sophia. Sophia, tell them what you asked me to do last night." The hall froze. Sophia's smile faltered. "Daniel, this isn't the place." But Daniel's voice grew firm. "You told me to kick away my wheelchair to prove I'm worthy of you. Is that love? Or is it cruelty?" Gasps filled the room. Whispers spread like fire. Sophia's face turned red, then pale. The twist. Anna steps forward. Before Sophia could respond, Anna stepped out from the crowd. She was trembling, but her voice was clear. "I saw everything. I heard her words, and I saw the pain in his eyes. Daniel deserves love that lifts him, not love that tries to crush him." Everyone turned. A maid standing against a millionaire's fiancé. The contrast was striking, but the truth was undeniable. Sophia lashed out. "She's just a servant, how dare you?" But it was too late. Daniel's decision was made. Daniel wheeled himself forward, his voice steady. "Sophia, this engagement is over. You wanted to marry a man without a wheelchair, but I need a woman who sees the man in the wheelchair. Someone who loves me for who I am, not what I can give them." The hall erupted in murmurs. Sophia stormed out, humiliated. But Daniel turned to Anna. "You saw me when no one else did. You spoke when no one else dared. That is love, the courage to care." Over time, Daniel and Anna's bond grew. She became more than just a maid. She became his confidant, his partner, his greatest supporter. With her encouragement, Daniel returned to his business with newfound strength. He showed the world that true power doesn't come from walking tall, but from standing firm in your values. Months later, Daniel wheeled into a press conference, Anna by his side. The cameras flashed, but his words silenced everyone. "I may have lost my ability to walk, but I found something far greater, love that cannot be shaken." And when he looked at Anna, he knew he had gained far more than he had ever lost. This story isn't just about betrayal and heartbreak. It's about the courage to see the truth, the strength to walk away from false love, and the power of kindness that can transform lives. Daniel thought he had lost everything, but in losing Sophia, he found the love that was meant for him all along. Because true love doesn't say, "Kick that wheelchair." True love says, "I'll stand by your side, no matter what."